What's up, YouTube? Back again, and today I'm going to be answering all the questions you guys left on my Instagram page. If you don't already follow my Instagram page, be sure to check it out. Before we start, I want to just say sorry for the delayed video. I know y'all sent in those questions a week ago, but your boy was battling a bad case of eye styes. I literally had them in both eyes. But here we go. I'm going to jump right into it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and go ahead and give a thumbs up on this video. It really does help me out a lot. Now let's get into the questions. Patty asked right off the bat, how to survive BMT. And there's 3 things you need to know in order to survive BMT. 1, it really isn't that bad. I know your nerves are pretty high when you're going to BMT, but I promise you, it's gonna be okay. Now, the second thing is you have to remember your why and keep that in your mind constantly, because it does get tough. Days do get long and you will be zoning out. When you're going through something like that, just remember your why, remember your purpose, and I promise you it will get you through the day. Now, the third thing is count your Sundays instead of counting the days. It really does make the weeks go by faster if you just count by the Sundays. But honestly, just some truth for you, when I left BMT, it was actually a very bittersweet moment. And that's because I met a lot of cool people and I had a pretty good time. I know that sounds crazy, but just between the brotherhood and the experiences you have out there, you start getting close, you start, getting in the swing of things. And then when you're out your way, you're like, dang, I probably won't see any of these people again. It hits different. I just can't explain it. You'll understand when you get to that point. G-Palm, best way to utilize your VA loan and how to start investing as an E1. This is a great question. Honestly, the VA loan is a great benefit that all service members will have for their lifetime. So that being said, don't rush in it too soon. Make sure you have enough money, because purchasing a home goes beyond just the price of the property. You got to account for interest. You got to account for maintenance and upkeep. So make sure you have enough to comfortably afford a property, because a lot goes into it. How to start investing right after you get out of basic training. And when you're at tech school, you should open your thrift savings plan account. This will allow you to start investing in your future. And it also gives you a tax advantage if you do so. Now, after 2 years of serving, the military will match you 5%, which is pretty good. So I would start there. If you want to start investing more than that, there's definitely ways to do that. I definitely talk about it a lot on my platform, so check those out because I go more into detail on there. Goes too high, how to obtain stability within the military and out. This is a great question, and I really would like to take the time to speak on relationships. And I'm not just talking about a romantic partner here. I'm talking about friendships as well. I believe stability can be found with the people you surround yourself with. And if you surround yourself with maybe shiesty people or people that don't really have the best intentions in life, it's hard to become stable. But if you do find really good, solid people that have your back, have good intentions, or share the same goals as you, that's where you can easily become stable in life. And I think that really helps out a lot. And that does as well go with romantic partners. In the military, you see a lot of people get in some relationships, may not be the best for them. And it's sad because, a relationship can make and break you. So really be cautious of the people you surround yourself with. Get some hobbies. Get outside, find a hobby that's indoors and find a hobby that's outdoors that you don't have to pay money to do. I always encourage this. Jair, I think I pronounced this right. If I butcher your name, I'm super sorry. I'm terrible with names, but do you need a passport if you're going to be stationed/deployed overseas? Now, usually you do not need a passport, but in the small chance you do, the military will pay for you to get that passport. And ask another question. Thanks for coming back too, because I know you asked one last week. Hi, it's me again. Please talk about credit cards and credit scores as an active duty member. Thanks. Now, I'm huge on credit cards, but guys, you got to understand that credit cards could land you in a heap of trouble. So when you get a credit card, please, please, please be disciplined, because if you are disciplined, credit cards can be a very powerful tool, not only to build credit, but you can use your credit card points to go on free vacations or get some cash back. Me and my wife just booked 4 first-class tickets, and it didn't cost a dime because we used our credit card points to pay for those tickets. So it really can be beneficial, and as active duty members, you get most luxury credit cards for free, but it's only if you're active duty military. Now, credit scores are really important. I started off with a pretty low credit score, but if you check on my shorts feed, I have a good hack on how you can boost and how I boosted my credit score. Maybe you have a low credit score, or maybe you want to boost your credit score. Check that video out because it is really helpful, and it helped me go from a 500 all the way up to 780. So it definitely works. Theo X, how can I get a car as a new airman coming in with no credit? This is a great question. If you come in with no credit, you definitely want to work on building that credit up. There's multiple ways of doing that. I'll release a video kind of going more in depth of that later, but how to get a car. Each base has a yard sale page, and on that yard sale page, you'll find a bunch of great cars because people are always PCSing, and they're PCSing overseas. So they're trying to get rid of their cars real quick, or maybe they're overseas and they're PCSing back home and they no longer need that car overseas. They'll get rid of their car and it's going to be pretty cheap. I got a car out here in Japan and it was like $1,500, and it worked really well up until the point it didn't. So make sure you don't buy a super cheap car, but make sure you don't pay too much either. But there's a lot of good cars out there on these Facebook page. And for example, I'm stationed here in Misawa, and a Facebook page of ours is Misawa Yard Sale. And on this page, you'll find a bunch of people putting their cars, clothes, furniture, and all that good jazz, TVs, whatever you want is going to be on that page. And usually it's for a pretty good price. Jay Shaw asked me 2 questions, so let's get into this one. If you were in my shoes and about to enlist, how would you build up your wealth to start? Now, this is a great question. And honestly, I'll tell you how I did it, but this isn't the only way. Keep that in mind. Now, right out of BMT, you get a couple $1,000s. And with that money, I put it aside in a high yield savings account, and I used it as an emergency fund. From there, I took my monthly income and I created a solid budget, and I made sure I was saving/investing 80% of my income. Now, I would put the savings in another high yield savings account separate from my emergency fund because I like to separate things. That's just how my mind works. But the rest of the money would go into investments. Now, I would split my investment in 3 categories. I invested in crypto, my Roth IRA, and an individual stock account. This allowed me to max out my Roth IRA and build a significant portfolio in investment. Now, there's other investment tools as well. You can invest in a business, you can invest in real estate, you can invest in the stock market or crypto, whatever you choose, but just keep some money aside so you have money to put to work. And I think that's so important. If you just build that habit right off the bat, you'll really maximize your opportunity to become successful. Now, part 2 of this question, he said, I'm about to enlist right away and was just wondering how I should start building wealth. Yeah, I think if you just did that, really stick to your budget. I think your budget is your friend. Now, I always say this, if you're a sport fan like I am, LeBron James does not just go to the court and just start doing random stuff. No, he has a specific workout plan, and that's kind of how a budget works. You want a specific plan that helps you align with your goals and allows you to keep track on whether you're doing well or doing bad. There's a bunch of apps out there and platforms for you to use to build a budget and track your spending, but what I would recommend is writing it out on physical paper at first. I know this helped me out a lot. I don't know what it is about writing my budget out on paper. Whatever it is, it truly helped me in the start. Now I use an app, but when I was starting, I was definitely writing it out every single day, and it helped me. I don't know. Maybe it'll help you too. You can try it out. Like I said, try things out, see if they work for you, because there's not just one path to financial freedom. There's multiple paths. You just need to find one that works for you. Chaos said, how to set yourself up for separation. This is a great question. And honestly, I hope you have a good savings in your name. I think that's something that most people commonly mistake when getting out of the military, that they're just going to land a 6-figure job and they're going to have all this money rolling in. But they forget all the expenses that we don't have to pay as military members, like healthcare and insurance and all this other stuff, rent, utilities, food, like all that's going to be coming out of your money. So something I would do is make sure you can budget well. You understand what type of expenses you're going to be facing when you get out. So definitely budgeting and savings is really important when it comes to separating. How would finance go someone in the National Guard? This is an interesting question because in the National Guard, you're a part-time worker. So you're really not getting paid that much in the military. You're not receiving BAH and you're not receiving BAS in most cases. So in the National Guard, same thing. I really preach on this, and I know it's kind of boring, but budgeting is your friend. If you can budget correctly, if you could just build that habit, it sounds easy, but 90% of people are rolling without a budget. They're raw dogging their finances, and I think that's crazy. You definitely want to budget. You definitely want to put some money aside for savings and investing. And if you just do those 3 things, I promise you, you could get to financial freedom. You just have to build those 3 habits. Jose, is it possible as a grunt to make a business while training for deployment? If so, how? Yes, it's definitely possible. And the how, man, you're just going to have good time management. If you can manage your time and still get your job done, and I promise you, you're going to be a beast. So time management is your friend. There's a bunch of people in the military that are running businesses or owning properties, and they're very successful. So that could be you too. You are no different. Learn how to organize, learn how to prioritize the right things, and focus on good time management habits. User 34562189990. Are you ready for this crypto bull run? And what coins are you investing in? 100% I'm ready for this crypto bull run, but I would be honest, the market just tanked. It's been tough today. I'm telling you, I looked at my accounts all red, but it's nothing to worry about because we're here for the long haul, guys. So what coins am I currently investing in? I'll be honest with you. I am a very conservative investor. I won't say I'm hella conservative, but I'm kind of, moderate to conservative type investing. So I like to invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum, of course, because those are the top 2 big dogs. And I have some money in some meme coins / shit coins, but I really don't play with that too much. Something I've been excited for is Solana. I'm really heavy in Solana. But just a warning, guys, do your own research. I'm not telling you to invest in those coins. Just make sure you know what you're putting your money into. It's Nesquik. Better to put money into the TSP or take the money and invest it into stocks. Now, this is a great question. It's something I was battling with at the beginning. If you're a really good investor, it may make sense to just invest into the stock market, but the TSP offers a tax advantage, and that's why I still put money in my TSP today. And on top of that, you get a 5% match. So why wouldn't you? It's kind of like throwing money away, in my opinion. So I have the means to put money in both, and I will continue putting money in both. In your situation, I don't know how that would be, but that's how I do things. The Ace of Gray, after BMT, can the Air Force ship your car to tech school, or can you go home and drive it back? You'll have to go home and drive it back. The Air Force will not pay for you to ship your car to tech school. Sanchez P. Alex 21. How similar are the benefits for the Canadian Armed Forces to the U.S. Armed Forces? This is a great question. I really don't know. I've chilled with the Canadian Armed Forces before, and I know one big thing that they like to brag about is they can smoke weed and we can't. So other than that, I don't know too much about their benefits. Fresh Prince of Miami in the Air Force. $130K in a high yield savings account. What ways can I use this to pursue real estate and obtain multiple properties? This is a really good question, and congratulations to you on having that much money in a savings account. You've really been putting in some work, which is great. Now, getting into properties, it's really up to you, but this is what I'm planning on doing. When I go back home, I plan on using my FHA loan. And the reason why is because you can get a property with 3.5% down, and the interest rates on that property are pretty competitive with the FHA loan. Now, I'm planning on using my FHA instead of my VA right away because you only get the FHA loan one time, and you get the VA loan multiple times. So I'll secure that property with 3.5% down, and after a year, I'll buy another property using my VA loan with 0 down. And this will allow me to gain 2 properties within 2 years if I do it correctly, and everything works for my favor, God willing. So that's my plan. I hope that helps, and it's something you can look into if you're interested in. How to get fit prior to BMT. This is a great question. Honestly, as long as you're just running a little bit, I would recommend at least trying the PT test once to see where you are. If you have enough time, run it multiple times. But as long as you're running, doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, I promise you'll be fine. So this is the last question of the night. Nav Nirvana, thoughts on entering military in mid-20s. So I actually entered in the military when I was like 23, 24. I think you'll be surprised at how many people do enter in the military in their mid-20s. Most of the people in my flight were actually in their mid-20s. We had very few kids just straight out of high school. Now, a benefit for you joining in your mid-20s is you've kind of had life experience, and so you'll come in with a different mindset than someone fresh out of high school, 18, making all the mistakes you make as an 18-year-old. I honestly do not regret joining in my mid-20s. There's so many benefits of being in the military that you receive for a lifetime, not just while you're serving, but even after you hang up your boots, you'll still receive a lifetime of benefits that are definitely worth it. It's 100% one of the best stepping stones you could take in life. Whether you're just serving one contract or maybe you're planning on doing a whole 20 years, which is crazy. 20 years is crazy, it sounds like. I promise you, it's definitely worth it. And that's why a lot of people do it. Because especially if you have a family or something like that, I can see why people do the full 20. But I don't regret signing. If I had to do it all over again, I would do it all over again. But thank y'all so much for asking these questions. I really do appreciate it. And again, I apologize for the delay. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a blessed one.